all of that come out. Gotta have one part, try that crazy.
How's everybody doing this afternoon? I'm out here in the garage on the 55 again. Now you've seen us put pretty much all the metal panels in. You know, we put in the quarters and patched up all the rot and the rust that was in the body, which really wasn't a lot, was there? It wasn't a lot in there.
A lot.
No, just several patches both sides. And you've been watching the channel for a while. You know that's about where I want to be, is with the metal, and that's about it. But on this car, since this is Miss Amanda's car, we're pleased to announce that we've had Larry here, the owner of Custom Creation and Restoration, jump on board and help us out with actual the fine tuning of the body work on this and putting in the fillers and getting the panels actually straight. And man, I gotta say, sir, you're doing a great job. How long you been doing body work?
I've been doing this about 42 years.
Wow.
About 42 years.
It takes a lot of patience to do this kind of fine tuning on these cars. It's one thing to weld in metal, but it's another thing to go in and actually get that panel straight to lay a good paint job with.
Well, I look at it like when you're doing something that you're passionate about and you like what you're doing. I have fun, I help people, I try to do a good job, try to lay it down where the paint will go down good. Something I love to do.
I hear that. And that's kind of like with these old cars around here. We love messing with them. We love driving them. We love talking about them, buying them, fixing them. It's a great, and the body work is just a really great industry to be in altogether. Man can make as much money as he wants to make, or he can do different areas from, like, you know, collision in new cars or antique restorations and things like that. There's a lot of different things that go into body work: welding, body filler, sanding, painting, spraying, doing all kinds of anything from just a basic job to the ultra extreme with pinstriping, flames, and all that stuff. And I mean, you know, there's just a lot there that can be said. There's a lot there can be done.
We do all major insurance jobs at Custom Creation, 865 plus 1 restoration. We're located at 5513 North Broadway. But if it was up to me, we would get away from and do just total restoration.
Right.
You know, I love, like you said, old cars. It's a challenge more than a new car, because insurance company wants you just put a new fender on it and new door, quarter, and be finished with it. But
it's almost just like parts hanging at that point.
But this right here, this take you back to the old days, and you got to do more than put a fender. You got to be able to do body work, and you got to make sure it's straight, and it's just a lot to go into it.
You also got to have that. You got to have that knowledge of how to get that metal straight, because nowadays cars really ain't made of much metal at all anymore.
A lot of it's fiberglass, and then the metal that they have is nothing like the gauge of metal on these things.
Right.
You know, you gotta have some knowledge of it. You know, and all the guys that were knowledgeable and used to do even lead work, you don't hear tell of that anymore.
No, it's all becoming a thing of the past, because the industry's moved more into this lightweight, more aerodynamic, fuel efficient stage, where it's almost like every car now is just kind of the same with a different name on it to a certain degree. They take all the skill out of it when they just want you to replace that plastic fender.
And they fixing them more and more each year, to where you got to go back to the dealership or a professional guy to get it done.
Right.
The DIY guys, a lot of times they making them with curves, and guy don't got that skill, man. He won't be able to to do that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And and you're not going to learn. I wouldn't think that if a young man coming up now and he goes to school to become a body guy, I'd have to think because of the way the industry went, they're probably teaching less and less, if any at all, of this shaping metal, welding in metal panels, and really fixing it, the way it should be fixed to be proper.
To be honest, most of the guys that come back from school to get certified and learn this trade, most of the stuff what they teach them, they just basically teaching them the basics.
Right.
Type of sandpaper, what, but in a real case scenario, a lot of them have to be taught when they get to a shop. You
Right.
know, how to do it right, how to do it to specifications. They teach them the terminology and the specs on it, but as far as getting down to the nitty gritty with the body work, they don't teach that too much because
It's
they
a real
replace
shame.
everything.
Yeah, and that's a shame because you're really hindering that guy. So once he goes through however long that school is, he's probably got another 5 years at least as an apprentice trying to actually learn, especially on something old,
Oh, yeah,
because
really.
it's metal,
And I would say more than 5 years probably because, you gotta trial and error is what make it so good on these things.
Right.
You gotta mess up some in order to learn what to really do.
Well, that's just like welding metal. When you start, the first time I ever tried to weld a patch into one of these cars, I warped the whole panel all to crap. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, it just, and you could see it, through the hood, that the metal, the way it moves under heat. That's not something that, if I tell you that, it's one thing, but until you,
But till you actually
to
do
do
it and
it.
put hands on.
yeah,
But look how much you've advanced.
right, over the years, and
It's a
just,
big difference
yeah.
between what you did when you started off and what you do now because what you did in here, it's some guy been doing it 25, 30 years that don't do it as good as that.
I appreciate that. 'Cause
I mean, it's in the proof in the pudding.
And it's when it comes to something like this, and I know what kind of guy you are and how you think about this stuff. You really got to have a passion to do it. It's not something that you can't just like the ideal of it. You got to
Right.
actually enjoy the messing up part and saying, well, I've got to tear all this back out because I screwed it up. You got to enjoy that to a certain degree to be really good at it.
So many guys, they come in and they're not passionate about it. And like I said, I've been doing it 42 years. And I can't see me doing this today.
Right on.
I love it. I don't even know how I get paid to do it. It's something I love so much.
That's really hard nowadays to find a job that you really love too. That it don't matter to get up to go to work because you enjoy it, and unfortunately a lot of people nowadays are trapped because of the money. And a
I
lot of the
couldn't do
guys,
it.
they come into this because of the money. They don't really care about anything else. They don't really care as much about the work as they do the paycheck at the end of the week. But unfortunately, that is the world that we live in now. I mean,
That's right.
everybody's got to do something to keep the lights on,
That's right.
whether they like it or not,
No.
unfortunately. So,
And I tell my kids, I would never do nothing. Your job, it's got to be something that you love to do or that you're passionate about. For number one, you'll enjoy and look forward to going to work every day. Number two, you'll learn about the things that you're passionate about. You'll do research, you'll learn, you'll practice, you'll advance, But versus dreading to going, oh, I got to go to the workplace tomorrow, something you don't want to do. I couldn't do it.
and there's so many people in that right now. It's
You'd be
just,
surprised.
yeah, oh yeah, guys. I mean, it's just one of them things. Everybody they kind of just want to gravitate where the money is, and they have to a certain degree. It's just one of them. It's almost like a mousetrap. You're stuck in it. You can't get out of it, and you can't just do whatever because the lights got to be on.
And I tell some of the young guys, take a trade in school. Take a trade because bad as we want our kids to go to college, college is not for everybody.
That's true.
You
It wasn't for me.
It wasn't for me. I mean, I went back and got some degrees, but as far as just getting out of school and going to college, that wasn't for me.
Well, see, you hear that. The kids are kind of taught that nowadays. That if you're going to have any money at all, if you're going to make any kind of, you got to go to college. You don't necessarily have to do that. Now,
Look at
I'm not deferring anybody from that.
I'm
but,
not.
Yeah, I'm
you know,
just
it's
saying
good
that,
if you want to go to college.
Yeah, if you take on a trade, I mean, these guys doing body work, doing welding, these pipeliners, plumbing, electrics, and all that stuff, man. You can make an
Look at the
outstanding
statistics.
living.
I know a whole lot of people got degrees and no job.
Right. I know some guys, and I'm not going to mention any names. They have very high-profile jobs, and it drained the life out of them. And now I'm just going to say they're in the industry trade now, and they're making great
Good money.
And a lot of them say, you know, hey, I might have had to take a pay cut to a certain degree, but I'm much happier working with my hands or doing anything like that in the trades themselves.
It makes a difference when
It
it's
really
something
does.
you love to do.
And you got to have, I don't care what people say, you got to have tradesmen, period. You got to have these blue-collar guys that get out and get it done. Truck drivers, electricians.
Makes the economy roll.
It does. It really does. People don't understand that, but it does. And too many times the kids are kind of taught, you know, hey, you know, college. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's
college
not your
is a
only.
good thing.
It is, but it's not your only option at the end of the day. It wasn't mine. I didn't get to go to college, nor would. I'll just be honest with you, I hated school. I wasn't good in it. I always wanted to be doing something, you know, other than just kind of, you know, sitting there and listening to somebody talk. I wanted to be working with my hands. That's how I learned. I mess it up, I'll fix it. If I won't, I'll come get somebody like you that'll help me fix it.
It's a good feeling to take something that's ugly, messed up, and you can envision how it'll look when you finish. And then you take that thing and make it beautiful, and then you stand back and watch it.
Oh, it's a heck of a feeling.
I had a hand in making it like that.
And that
It's
right
so
there draws
satisfying.
people to this.
Yeah.
That's why most of these guys, they love a car and they see that vision in their head, and when it comes to fruition, then they're just like, wow, you know, it gives you a certain level of pride, and it really says something about your character to be able to take something and take it to the end and finish it. Not a lot of people can do that either, but
You're
the
right.
ones that can, once they get that bug in them, it's almost like a drug. You want to do
It's
another
addictive.
one.
Yeah.
You want to do another one.
And I just, I was thinking about today, I wonder how many cars have I actually done. And I couldn't even put a number on it.
Wow. Over 42 years, I can only start to imagine.
My first car I done was a Volvo. It was a new car. A friend of mine owned Olympic Steakhouse. And I sat there, I had just opened my shop, and I sat there probably for about 3 hours that night. And I said, man, if I grind into this thing, ain't no turning back. And but it was my passion. It was what I loved to do, and I never looked back after that. I appreciate the opportunity to do
Well,
it, you know.
I tell you
And
what, we really appreciate you coming on board with us on this deal.
word of mouth is you know, we don't even got a sign up. Everybody say, well, where your sign? And the shop full. It's been full. Stay full.
Who needs a sign?
Right.
If I could get many people to work as I wanted to, man, we would get a bigger building and make it do what it do.
Right.
But you know, workforce for doing this is not plentiful.
Right.
You know, because you got to have a little patience. You got to have vision.
A certain level of know-how
Yeah.
too, and be able to learn new tricks and you know, listen to those when they tell you, you know, hey, I've been there. Like you, when you tell me something, I don't think I'm not going to listen to what you say because you've been there.
And the thing about it, 42 years of doing this, and I'm still learning.
Right. When you quit learning, you're done.
When you quit learning, you're done. You know, for a while we went to Atlanta to that DuPont color match thing. We would take one guy and go down there every year and you know, catch up on the new stuff and how to mix it and the new paints and everything. But it's a challenge, and it's a learning process. You never stop learning.
It really is. And we really appreciate your support, not only on this project, but on the car shows, swap meets that are starting to happen now. We look forward to seeing you in the future, coming around, checking out the cars, helping
I'm
us
gonna be
here,
there.
helping us there.
Mhm.
I mean, it's really been a pleasure working with you on this deal, and I can't say how happy I am, and what a tremendous job that you have done right here.
Man, I
Because
appreciate
these people that's been following this build, they know what the car looked like when it
At
came
first.
in. Yeah, and then they got to see because you can see this paint here, and you'll see a bubble or two. And what people don't understand is behind that bubble, it'll open up and it'll be this big, and it'll look like Swiss cheese. So they're getting to see that, and they're getting to see some of the old metal. Me put the metal back in the car, and then somebody of your caliber come in and be able to work that into this and get it ready for paint. It's just outstanding, and I really hope people learn something here. And trust me, when you're doing something like this and you get to a point that you're out of your level of comfort or you're really not sure, don't be afraid to get some help from outside, from friends,
Right.
from other shops, from the professionals, to help you get from where you're at to where you're going, because so many people, they just
You know
let
what I
their
always
project
say?
die.
The only dumb question is a question you don't ask.
That's right. That's right. Well, Larry, I really appreciate everything. I can't say enough, and I appreciate you coming on and giving us a little backstory of how you got in, how long you've been in the industry. And I'm sure everybody's looking at this and they're like, I can't believe the car is looking that way this quick, because you really
looking
probably
good.
pushed this project up by 2-3 years. Because I'll do this type of work. I'm not very good at it, and a lot of times I'll have to do it and then be like crap and go back.
You keep saying you're not good at it, but I tell you one thing. When I look in here and I see what you did, I'm not too sure about you not being too good at it.
Well, the metal work's one thing, but getting the fillers on and getting them straight, that's another.
That is good. I
Well,
promise.
I surely appreciate
I thought
that.
you'd been doing that all your life. I thought that was your job, what you did.
No, that ain't what I do for a living.
Man,
That's what I do for fun. That's probably why it turns out so good.
that's right. That's right.
The metal work is where my heart is. I've always liked the fabrication of metal into things. It's taking it from that raw state to a more polished, finished state that I just kind of lose a little interest in, Well, I sure do appreciate you coming on, telling us everything about how you got into it and how long you've been into it, and the outstanding work you're doing here. And I just want to say thank you for jumping on board and sponsoring car shows and stuff. And it's been an absolute pleasure. And if you guys need some body work, give this guy a call, because as you can see, proof's in the pudding. The wagon is looking amazing.
I appreciate it.
Larry, thank you so much. And hey, you guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us on the Facebook. We'll catch y'all next time right here on this 55.
Mhm.